At sunrise, the iron gate locked, not just against trespassers, but against a family's illusion of ownership. It was 4:59 a.m., with the mist curling around the iron bars of my estate gate. I stood on the upstairs balcony, watching as Karen's silver SUV rolled in slowly, headlights dimmed, like she was sneaking in for a theft, not arriving for a family visit. Inside the SUV, Karen's parents sat stiff and silent, nervous as raccoons caught in daylight. For years, they carried themselves like everything in sight belonged to them, but this morning, all that arrogance had melted into unease. As Karen tried sliding the old brass key into the lock, the new reinforced motor snapped the gate shut with a thunderous sound. Her parents jumped in their seats, while a grin spread across my face. That was the moment I had been waiting for, when Karen finally realized the game had changed, and her family's old stories couldn't open doors anymore. She jabbed at the keypad again and again, but every attempt failed. One by one, the new cameras I had installed flickered to life, like the house itself was rolling its eyes at her tricks. As I watched Karen fumble at the gate, my mind drifted back to the day I signed the deed. The county clerk raised an eyebrow, the realtor warned me about local grudges, but I had promised myself I'd prove them all wrong. Restoring the estate wasn't just about repairing walls and beams. Every nail, every late-night roof patch was me clawing my way back after my life had collapsed. It was more than a house. It was therapy. 2 weeks earlier, Karen had arrived with a casserole dish and sweet compliments, pretending to admire my work. But her eyes weren't on the house. They were on the locks, the gates, the mail slot. She was casing the place. The night before the showdown, I walked the grounds with a flashlight, double-locking every door. The cold air told me one thing: Karen would strike soon. Entitlement always comes back after you show kindness. As dawn broke, the sprinklers hissed to life, misting the rose beds. Karen cursed at the keypad, her parents shrinking into the SUV. I just stood and watched from above. This was the moment I had earned. I stepped out of the carriage house, boots crunching on gravel just loud enough for them to hear. Karen spun around, pretending she was only checking on things for me, but her voice trembled like a bad cover story.
I told Karen about the new system, how every code and lock had been changed. The county named me the legal steward, and trespassing now carried real consequences. Her parents' faces fell as the truth sank in. Karen tried one last bluff, claiming she still had the old codes. I leaned closer and told her every lock was mine now. Their SUV rolled away slowly, swallowed by the trees, defeated. I stood at the steps, breathing in wet earth and fresh paint. The line had been drawn. This was no longer about land. It was about principle, about defending the sweat I had poured into this place. In my head, I was already drafting letters for the HOA board, planning quiet moves with my lawyer and county inspectors. Karen had no idea the storm I was preparing. As I walked the halls, I remembered when the estate was nothing but ruins. Busted windows, raccoons in the pantry, rain dripping through the ceiling. Everyone thought I was crazy, but I saw something worth saving. Back then, Karen wasn't around for the hard work. She only appeared once the beauty returned, offering cookies, asking about parties, hinting at her family's claim. I kept a journal, recording every visit. One evening, I found the side gate open. Karen and her parents wandered near the stables, acting like they owned the place. I escorted them out and called my lawyer the same night. Her intrusions grew bolder. Flyers for fake open houses, stolen photos online, even a forged booking scam. But every stunt only tightened my resolve. I was always 2 steps ahead. One day she arrived with a moving van and a crowd of so-called guests, claiming they had reservations. But I was ready. Camera rolling, sheriff on speed dial. The end game had come. When deputies arrived, her scheme collapsed in minutes. Fraud, trespassing, forgery, it all came out in the open. Her guests turned against her as the sheriff's lights painted the driveway. That was the turning point. For the first time, the estate felt alive, safe, and truly mine. Neighbors who once doubted me now waved from afar. Karen's name faded from the grapevine. Now at night, I walked the grounds in peace, listening to the fountain and remembering the winters when the house was broken and hopeless. Karen is gone, barred by law and by her own shame. The estate is at peace, and so am I.